As the result of a childhood wish, John Bennett's teddy bear Ted came to life and has been by his side ever since. A friendship which is tested by Lori, John's girlfriend, who wants more from their relationship. This is my review of Ted. So I saw Ted a few months ago when it was on my DVR, and I decided to watch it now and not back in 2012, because back in 2012 when the trailer came out for Ted, there were a few parts that made me laugh during the trailer, but I just had this feeling that Ted was not going to be a good comedy at all for some strange reason. But after seeing Ted a few months ago, I have to tell you guys that I thought Ted was a fantastic comedy, in my opinion. The good points. The thing I like about Ted the most was that it was written and directed by Seth MacFarlane, and he also voiced the one main character's Ted, which was the teddy bear, which was alive. And I think the reason that I really liked the comedy in this movie was because it was classic Seth MacFarlane, because it felt like a Family Guy episode, or to anyone else that watches other shows, it felt like an American Dad episode or a Cleveland Show episode, because it had that dark comedy, raunchy comedy type of humor. And Seth MacFarlane's voice acting is good in this movie. It sort of sounds like Peter Griffin, which he also voices in Family Guy, but yeah, there's a joke about that, like during the movie, but it's like Ted's voice is sort of distinct, like on its own kind of voice, even though it sort of sounds like Peter Griffin. I thought the acting by Mark Wahlberg, Mila Kunis, and Giovanni Ribisi was great, and I thought that their comedic parts were well done in this movie. And this may sound a little bit weird, but another good point about this movie was the visual effects, and the visual effects were mainly, by mainly I mean entirely, around Ted, and just like his movements and everything seemed like very lively and humanly, and like it had a personification to it, or is that the word, personification? Yeah, I think so. And the visual effects made it seem like that he was really interacting with the world around him. The final good point to say is the ending, because the narrator at the end is telling like what happens to all the characters, which include the main characters and the side characters, and the movie is left so open-ended that there could be a sequel, and I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel to Ted, since it was like really funny, and Seth MacFarlane did a fantastic job. The bad points. Honestly, there's only one bad point I could come up with about this movie, and that's with some of the humor, because a lot of the humor in this movie made me really laugh, and it was like fantastic, but there were just other parts that I felt like were hit and miss for me, because like the punchline of the joke came, or the comedic moment happened, and I was like, yeah, not really chuckling or anything. And that's the thing for me with Seth MacFarlane humor. It's that like sometimes his jokes and comedic parts in like Family Guy are really good and they really make me laugh, and other times in Family Guy it's just like, yeah, not that funny. So my rating for this movie is a 3.75 out of 4 stars. I think it is a fantastic comedy. For me anyway, there were just like a few parts that were hit and miss for me with the comedic moments, but overall it was a really good directed, written, and even acted movie by Seth MacFarlane, and acted very well by Mila Kunis, Mark Wahlberg, and Giovanni Ribisi. If you guys haven't seen Ted, then I think you should definitely watch it, especially if you're a fan of comedies. And don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys, so other than that, that's it.